Hi there, Mia Gradney here with a look at what's making headlines in Houston, starting with security cameras at a home in Westbury that turned out to be a good investment for one neighbor and bad news for a suspected thief. Prosecutors say an alleged porch pirate took off with the homeowner's packages last week, but didn't make it far before he was caught. Matt Doherty has the story.
I was really sick to my stomach when I found out he only got a $100 bond.
Anita KHOU says she'd only been gone from her home for a short time last Thursday afternoon when it happened.
I wasn't here and somebody took advantage of that.
As soon as she returned, she knew something was wrong.
The gate being open was my first sign. And so then I went and checked and it said your packages were delivered, and I checked the cameras and you saw the person taking them.
This is some of the video captured by Anita's security cameras. It shows a person on a blue bicycle right up to the home, open the gate to her front porch, then take her packages. She called the Precinct 5 constable's office and posted the video to social media. It didn't take long for the deputies to find the suspect.
I posted on Facebook, and another neighbor said he's across the street on Chena, and with the blue bicycle. And so they bolted out here to go arrest him.
Kevin Levine was found only a few streets away from Anita's house. Court records show he spent time in prison for aggravated assault causing bodily injury in the past, plus time in jail for selling drugs. When he was arrested last week, he was free on bond for allegedly stealing from more than 10 addresses. Tonight, he's free again.
But he bonded out on $100.
I asked Anita if the women's clothing and beauty products she says were taken from her front porch last week were ever returned.
Are you kidding? Ask him. Ask him. I mean, maybe he gifted it to a girlfriend for all I know. Maybe he wants to do skincare, try a new skincare regime.
From Westbury, I'm Matt Doherty, KHOU 11 News.
Now to a man who's been charged with the murder of a woman whose remains were found a couple of years ago. Court records show Justin Scarborough is now charged with the murder of Angela Marisol Diaz, who first went missing in 2024. Court records show the 22-year-old may have been a victim of sex trafficking before she disappeared. Then nearly a year ago, Angela's remains were found near the Johnson Space Center. In addition to the murder charge, Scarborough is also charged with tampering with her body after her death. The Houston Police Department is tightening its policy when it comes to immigration-related encounters. City leaders say the change comes after concerns two officers acted outside department guidelines. Devon Rahming has more on what these policy changes will look like.
Well, Houston Mayor John Whitmire and Police Chief Noe Diaz say Houston police officers are not immigration enforcement agents, and they want this new directive to make that point very clear. Houston Mayor John Whitmire says with this new directive, the goal is to ensure officers follow the law while avoiding unnecessary conflict. Police Chief Noe Diaz says the department has been closely tracking immigration-related encounters with about 220 immigration warrant hits last year out of roughly 350,000 police reports.
Officers will not transport anyone solely for the purpose of an administrative warrant, an immigration warrant. Again, this ensures that our officers remain available to serve to serve the public and respond to emergencies.
It's significant that they can't do anything without a sergeant, their first line of supervision. It's significant that in the directive, you will not transport people unless it's a safety issue to get somebody out of a dangerous freeway setting.
Meanwhile, advocacy group Fiel Houston criticized the announcement, saying Mayor Whitmire is not doing anything special. He is just safeguarding the city from violations to our Constitution. This policy is something that should have been in place from day one. Meanwhile, city officials say the goal here is to treat people with dignity and respect. In Houston, Devon Rahming, KHOU 11 News.
Now to reaction to the arrest of a mail carrier allegedly caught with hundreds of pieces of stolen mail. The discovery was made inside his personal vehicle. It's part of a months-long theft and forgery investigation involving dozens of potential victims, including at least one who spoke to KHOU 11 News about the problem. Jason Miles has the follow-up.
Police tell me they arrested the mail carrier shortly after he left this post office near the old Imperial Sugar Mill. In fact, he still had his uniform on. This is a photo of 32-year-old Jalen Mouton during his arrest this week after wrapping up his Postal Service shift. But it's the mail he allegedly delivered to his personal vehicle from this post office that led to felony theft charges.
We found 226 pieces of mail in there.
Sugar Land police tell me the recovered mail was addressed to more than 50 different individuals and that 66 items contain checks that could have been used to commit forgeries.
They were able to see him pulling mail aside, taking it out of the post office, putting it in his vehicle, and then leaving the post office with it, which employees should not be doing.
Mouton's arrest follows a months-long joint investigation between the police and postal inspectors initiated by customers who had checks stolen, forged, and in some cases, cashed.
The detective who's been working the case since October, he told me that a suspect had been arrested and that it was a post office employee.
Retired newspaper reporter Eric Hansen covered crime for years, and when we first spoke to him in November, he said he suspected an inside job after physically dropping off 2 checks inside his Sugar Land post office, thinking it would help avoid issues.
3 days later, I checked my bank account and zero money in the checking account and $3,000 in addition debit. So I was out $7,000.
Now, months after our story aired, Hansen's relieved there's been a crack in the case, which police are still investigating.
Obviously, we're going to look at people who've been cashing the checks, and then we would like to find the people who were doing the original forgeries.
Turns out Mouton's criminal history includes a guilty plea to aggravated robbery with a deadly weapon from a decade ago. But all the Postal Service said in a brief statement to us was, quote, "We can confirm that an individual employed with the Postal Service was arrested. Due to privacy issues, the Postal Service does not publicly discuss personnel matters." Police wanted to stress important safety tips for you. Retrieve your mail regularly. Use a locked mail box and try not to send checks in the mail. Obviously, it makes it more difficult when an employee of the Postal Service is allegedly involved. In Sugar Land, Jason Miles, KHOU 11 News.
Always take all the precautions. And with that, that's a wrap of your Houston headlines. I'm Mia Gradney.